Hello, good people out there. This Happy New Year's to you, 2023. We're going to be talking about New Year's conflict resolutions. So, everybody experience some level of conflict internally and also with others. So, we're going to give you some God pills tonight with my good brother Augustus. And, and if you got any comments or you want to drop something down, feel free to do so. We'll be right back. We're going to run this B-roll.
Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to the God Pill Wisdom Show on the Transform You Media Network. This is the only show where you can try His wisdom. Make sure you check us out by visiting Instagram at God Pill Wisdom. That's God Pill Wisdom on IG. Enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to the God Pill Wisdom Show.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with my good brother Augustus V. Happy New Year's to you, good brother.
Man, Happy New Year's, brother.
Yeah, it's quite the the honor and the privilege once again to be able to join forces with you on this platform, to be able to give people the wisdom they need to be able to move forward. We don't need nobody stagnant and still stuck in 2022.
Yeah,
So we talk
man.
about New Year's conflict resolution. Brother, I'm going to allow you to take lead. I'm going to head over to Facebook and make sure that we are public and, but go ahead, take lead while I do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I want to start off by saying welcome all to the God Pill Wisdom Show, the show where you can take God's pill for his wisdom. We're going to get into it today. First thing I want to do, I want to bring up when we talk about conflict resolution. Conflicts, the essence, the very origins of conflicts. It's not a new thing. The
Right.
idea of the conflict is not a new thing. It's been around for a while. It's very interesting. Anything that God creates or has created, he creates it without conflict. But somehow, some way, there's always conflict with anything that he has created on this earth. See?
Yeah.
And that's not God's fault. But somehow, some way, there just keeps coming up. Conflicts just keep coming up in these perfect things that God created. So we have to understand this thing at some point. And one big issue for many people is that they don't understand what the conflict is. A lot of people do not understand the conflict, the concept of the conflict. What is a conflict? See? And this is a very big issue, see, because it's one thing to get attacked by a known enemy.
Right.
It's another thing to get attacked by a silent killer. To have something in your system where it's killing you over time and you're not aware of it. See, until the symptoms come, then you see the doctor, then they say, hey, did you know there was this raccoon in your stomach? It's like, oh no, I had no idea there was a raccoon in my stomach, but
Right.
this is what it comes down to. A lot of people, they have silent killers and they're just roaming around in their lives and they don't understand that these are conflicts. So we have to understand, what is a conflict? Main definition that I could give for a conflict is anything that goes outside of the will of God.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it to you, brother.
You said something interesting, man. Things that are meant to be perfect, things that are meant to go accordingly, according to what God wants it to be. Especially, there's always some type of opposition. Okay, So I always like to look at the story of Adam and Eve, when they're in the garden, and everything was in perfect harmony. Okay,
Yeah.
it wasn't until that serpent came out of nowhere, uh, spitting this good game at Eve, and
Hmm.
and then she looked at like what could be, what at least what we
Yeah.
thought could be, like, oh, I can be like God, I can be uh, adorned just as much as God is, and
Mm.
um, and just that ounce of greed and a little bit of malice and jealousy was the beginning of the fall right there. And
Yeah.
um, and when you think about a lot of these conflicts, you know, derive from that same bit of creeping of the jealousy and other things uh, that Eve was motivated by to move forward on. And so,
Mm.
like, we are our original mother's child. so,
Yeah.
so, you know, this whole urge to be loved, this whole urge to have power, uh, to be like God, has gotten us in a situation where we we are creating conflicts within ourselves, and we can creating conflicts every year with other people because they also are going through their own conflicts. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think about conflicted. Being conflicted.
Mm.
Why are we so conflicted? And again, it goes back to the original mother, uh, Eve. Who's the mother of all of us. Um, hmm and so, like, she knew it was right. She had been told at school it was right all the time by Adam, and even God personally, who walked with them. So who walked among them
Mm.
in the cool of the breeze. So she knew it was right, but instead, the flesh took over. The inspiration of the serpent himself was able to create that conflict, and this is why we
Mm.
have this conflict to this day.
Yeah. 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 That's very true, brother. And man, that story goes so deep. Um,
Yeah.
most folks that heard the story hasn't even really touched the tip of the iceberg
Right.
of the fullness in that scenario of what happened in that garden.
hmm
And there's so many secrets to life just in that story alone because the occurrence keeps happening over and over and over. A lot of great men that have came into this world since Adam have accomplished many great things, but they've been
Yeah.
taken down somehow, some way because of their woman, and that woman has taken them down because there's been some kind of outside force spitting their game at their woman and
hmm
using their woman to take them down. So it's conflict, very ancient conflict for very ancient and very deep spiritual reasons, but they're conflicts nonetheless. Um, one thing I wanted to say, I wanted to touch on the four areas of conflict. A lot of people don't know this. There's four areas of conflict, four areas that conflict could live in. Um, it's the mental. There's actually five, but there's the
hmm
mental realm. There's the soulish realm. There's the spirit realm, and there's the heart realm.
mm
Um, the mental realm, that's where your thoughts are. That's where thinking happens. It's all in the mental realm. That's where logic is. That's where this is where information is stored, is in the mental realm. That's what people have minds for, so that they can operate within the mental realm. This conflict could live in that realm. The soul realm, this is the realm where women like to live in. It's the emotional realm. It's the realm where it comes down to emotional discernment, where your feelings are active. Whenever someone could tell a story and then it moves you emotionally, they just reached out to you soulishly in the soul realm. Conflicts most definitely live in the soul realm. Then you have the spirit realm. This is where character is. This is where people are as people, as persons. It's the realm of character. Someone's morals lives within the spirit realm, or you could call it personality realm, whatever people, whatever you want to give it, whatever title. It's the spirit realm. Conflicts most definitely live in this realm. This is where people get alter egos and different personalities. Is
Mm-hmm.
within this realm whenever there's conflict here. Um, then you have the heart realm, the realm of the heart. This is where everyone's will is. This is where everyone's action, the their push to action, their motives. That's within the heart realm. There's definitely conflict within this realm. It's very important for people to understand these four realms, because when they understand these four realms, they can identify where a conflict is really living. They can realize, they can understand what to do whenever a conflict comes and how to address it accordingly. Today, we have a lot of people dealing with logical conflicts by using emotion, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not getting anywhere. You have a lot of people that's dealing with spiritual conflicts by using logical, by using logic. It could get you somewhere, but it's not gonna get any result. And we have a lot of people. These are deep matters where they're dealing with heart-based conflicts that cause them to make the wrong decisions. And people are using every way and means to deal with these matters except for heart-based conclusions, heart-based solutions. See, so people have to understand whenever they're dealing with a conflict, they need to sit down and say, "Man, where is this affecting me? Is this affecting me emotionally? Is this affecting me in my mind? Is this something that I have to deal with myself as a person with? Is this
Right.
something that's going to cause me to make certain actions?" And then they got to ultimately ask, is this conflict messing with all four?
Mm. I'm glad you broke that down for us and gave us some insight into that, because this is a good segue into, like, why certain people ain't successful in, like, in different areas of their life. I use myself as an example. I don't mind, like, the
Mhm.
just the whole ability to form romantic relationships, man. It's just been like, an ongoing conflict, and because there's so much baggage being collected along the way. Every time you exit out of a relationship that didn't go as promised. But there's also good things that you bring, into the next relationship because of these experiences. But what ends up happening is, you either hook up with somebody who's still conflicted, and 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 they're unwilling to bring over, um, the good things that they can provide, and enhance those good things. So they tend to, like, hang on to all of the negative things, and because they're conflicted about it, they they, they get in a good situation, and it doesn't feel right. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, you know, why is this so good to be true? I'm so accustomed to, like, what I got in my bag here. Like, let me
Mhm.
pull out some of these tricks in this bag. And then
Yeah.
that's where the self-sabotage comes in. They sabotage themselves, but also sabotaging the relationship. You know, so I use relationships as an example, but this happens with, like, any goal. When people trying to lose weight, especially like at the turn of the year, when New Year's come around, people are looking to lose weight, and because they're so familiar and comfortable with how things have been, have, like with eating that double cheeseburger every day, and with a milkshake on the side, they, when it comes time to like work out, they conflicted. It's like, okay, you know, I haven't arisen to this mindset, and I'm not tapping into like what's into faith and into hope to be able to like move forward and hit my target weight. Instead, like
Mm,
they every time they get on the scale, they see the same weight.
mm. Man, man. Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy because it's the way society is structured today is not to really help people get to their goals.
Oh, set up to fail.
Yeah, yeah. Like how does someone, you know, walk away from that hamburger that you mentioned
Mm,
when every other commercial is a hamburger?
exactly.
They're on their way from work, they're driving and they're seeing big billboards, hamburger. And the same scientists that tell you what's wrong with the hamburger are the ones that's coming out with the technology to produce these things in mass production.
Hmm.
They have technology where these things could be made at the snap of a finger. And I may be a little dramatic there, but I mean, the the scientists they're coming out with this stuff, and it's the same people that's
Yeah.
saying hamburgers are bad for you. You need to hit the gym. You need to. So the society in itself is a big destroyer, for one, I would say. Um, but I guess this will bring me into my next point. What is the answer to a conflict? And I would say, first off, going back to the Adam and Eve story, Genesis 1:28, God gave us his terms for living life.
Hmm.
He gave man and woman his terms for living life. And if you ever read, for the listeners, if you guys ever read Genesis chapter 1 through 3, including 3, you'll see a lot of structural principles here. And in chapter 1 is very chronological. It's a big chronology in here. But in Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 28, it says, "And God blessed them." That's being the man and the woman, the first man and the man and the first woman. And God said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." Those were the structure. That's the structural command or commands that God has given mankind to live under on this earth. See, and in a great sense, we're still following it because we are over all of the fish of the sea. We are superior to all of the fowl of the air, and over every living thing on this earth. Mankind has some kind of influence with every kind of creature on this earth. The
Yeah.
scientists, like I said, they're not necessarily the best influence on a lot
Right.
of living.
Oh
You
man,
know,
no.
that man, at this rate, we're not even going to know what a lion is anymore because they're going to be
Yeah.
extinct so badly. But we still have dominion. That part we are still following. But God said, this is mainly to the man and the woman, be fruitful. That means take what I've given you and be productive with it. See,
Hmm.
multiply. That means take what you've been productive with and scale it out.
Right.
Replenish the earth. That means spread it out throughout the earth, scale it out throughout the earth, and set up a system where you have people under you or kids under you doing what you did, being productive, doing the same thing that you've done, and subdue it. That means sit on the throne and keep governance over this legacy that you've started. See, those are the commands that God has given mankind.
Hmm.
And in chapter 3, God kind of specifies it and kind of splits. this command from being to the man and the woman, and it kind of goes just to the man, and we see that in chapter 3, and then God gives separate commands to the woman. But in all essence, this is the answer to conflict: is living life under these principles. And this brings me, I'll just say this, and then I'll go ahead and pass the mic over. But
Okay.
today, the best way to be fruitful, the best way to multiply, the best way to replenish this earth is by using money. And scripture says, money answereth all things. So if we use these principles and we use money, the thing that scripture says answereth all things, then we can have a very strong, very powerful answer to conflicts.
Yeah, you got that right. Money is a tool. It's just like, money is definitely a tool, and I still can't fathom like why there's still certain people that say out their mouth like money doesn't matter. Okay, well,
Mm,
it's part of the system. As you
yeah,
mentioned, brother, it's a system. It's a system that's set up on this earth, and
yeah.
if you not living your purpose and then finding a way to create this tool, you're gonna always be conflicted.
Yeah.
Why do you think why people that's living in poverty are the most stressed out? They got the
Mm,
most stress.
yeah.
They're living through stress, and like they don't even. There's people that's living right now in so much stress that they become complacent with it. And if you suggest mental health to them or the church house to them, they'll look at you crazy. They'll say, "Oh,
Mm,
well, I don't need that. I'm good." How are you good?
mm,
You have not even, you have not, the way to acquire the tool, to use the tool to like, to battle some of these conflicts that you're having. Because like, what is a community, without a shared system, a shared values, and that's like functioning with a purpose to create more of the tool that we need. The tool being the money, the tool
mm,
being that of like um, knowing that the love of like some high level of spirituality, incorporated in your values, can lift a lot of people out of a lot of the conflicts that they face. I mean, just
mm.
think about it. If every household was was plentiful with like with some ounce of spirituality and some wealth being generated, do you think
Mhm.
we have the number of domestic violence incidents we have? Do you think we have like
Mm.
like, do we think we have like people backstabbing each other and
Mm.
all the type of stuff? Because everybody have more than enough, but it is more than
Yeah.
enough. Yeah, we think that like there's nothing left, or that like the glass is just being drained of all of the water that's available within it, but like it's a glass for a reason. You fill it up. Go,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's more outside of the glass than in the glass. Stop looking inside of the glass. Looking at how much is it left in the glass. Instead, go outside of the glass and go get what's available throughout all the lands. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and it's man, this is it's very interesting that you mentioned that, how there is enough, but there's so many that are struggling
Mm,
and they're without. And
right.
see, the interesting thing, I'm learning this more and more and more and more. I mean, the revelation on this one principle alone, it's just ever ending. It doesn't end. But poverty in a country like this, man, I hate to sound like Kanye. I hate to sound like Kanye. Oh man,
Hey, we
but I
need a
gotta
little
say it.
Kanye in our lives sometimes.
I'm telling you. But poverty in this country is a choice.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Poverty in this country is a choice, um, because there's too much opportunity to be impoverished, in this country. I understand, all right, someone's working 5 jobs, 20 hours a day, 5 jobs, and they get laid off of all of them, and they can't make ends meet and all these things. Okay, I understand that. I understand about hitting rock bottom. I'm not talking about that. Hitting rock
Right.
bottom doesn't count as poverty. Poverty, when you talk about poverty to me, I think of Skid Row. I think of driving by buildings for miles and you see tents outside of
Yeah.
these buildings. That's what I think of when I think of when you say poverty to me. But that's a choice. Reason why is because everyone in those tents have something in common. They're addicted to something that won't allow them to become go-getters.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. Addiction is the issue. Addiction in this country leads to homelessness. Addiction leads to poverty. See? So when someone understands something, just a concept that's simple, then this really fugazi of what it takes to stop poverty, it doesn't seem so hard now. When you understand that everyone that is homeless are addicted to something, then it makes it a lot more simpler to defeat the poverty issue. You defeat the
Right.
addiction issue. See? But if the addiction issue isn't going to be fixed, then the poverty is not going to be fixed. So that's the real issue. The real issue with that is truly addiction. See?
And you ever notice how closely related addiction and confliction is? So like
Yeah.
they very much the neighbors of each other, and that's for a reason. And it goes back to what we said.
Yeah, I could kind of hear it's like underwater right now. It's breaking up for me. Let's see, let me try to refresh.
Yeah, like we having some technical difficulties. All right. Okay, brother. It look like it fixed itself.
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Well, that happens. Hey, we got 1 more minute left. Less, we probably go a little bit longer, but um,
Mhm.
so I kind of got off track with like the breaking up of the stream. Um, let's do this, brother. How about you?
Mhm.
You know, because like we got a lot of different things happening in our world today, and how about man, you just give a gem for like the people out there to like be able to like to take going into this year.
Okay. So just a quick gem for the people. Peace, and not necessarily just peace, but dealing with conflict, living a life without conflict, living a life where the only conflict that you deal with are necessary conflicts that
Mm-hmm.
will that if you overcome them, then you'll actually get a necessary return from dealing with that conflict. I would say that all comes down to subduing this earth, subduing this earth, subduing whatever you work for, subduing whatever you conquer, subduing whatever is yours in your name, subduing. Fellas, that includes your wife. Your wife is in your name. See, so you have to subdue your wife as well. She's free, right? It's her choice, but you still have to subdue her, keep her. You protect, you provide. That's your wife. That's your woman. See, so when it comes to subduing, how do you do that? Wear your armor. Wear your armor. I remember back in the day when ever my mentees will have an issue with something, I would tell them, "Hey, did you wear your armor? Did you wear your armor of God?" And the armor of God, as Ephesians 6 says, stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth and having on the breastplate of righteousness, your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, and above all taking the shield of faith, wherewith you may be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. That's your armor. That's the armor of God. If anyone lived a life where they took hold of truth, righteousness, the gospel of peace, faith, I mean, when you know that there's teachings like this in history, and you know that there's people that actually live this way and they did all right, it kind of takes all the excuses away from still struggling with conflicts. See, that's why I said I would tell mentees this in the past. Like, I don't tell mentees this so much today because many people are suffering from mental health issues.
Yeah.
So they're not ready for this.
Mm-hmm.
Many people aren't ready for the armor teaching that, you got to kind of start from the beginning and build them up. No, you don't have ADD. No, bipolar doesn't exist, and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, my gym, I guess, just my main gym for folks is understand you need armor when it comes to living a life of peace, when it comes to living a life of success, a life with as few conflicts as possible. You need armor because whenever you have something of value, someone or something that you can't see is going to go out of their way to try to take that from you. See? So you got to have the armor of God on.
I like that, man. That's beautifully speaking. And you know, Sunday, I didn't make it out to like services, but I put on Joel Osteen for the first time in a long time.
Nice.
And it I saw this brother, and I probably can pull it up too, but
Mhm.
this brother actually caught the Holy Spirit while
Wow.
preaching.
Wow.
So like he was telling his story about how just throughout the years, there's been so much opposition against what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's people who doesn't like his prosperity preaching and everything like that, but like he pointed to something. He said, like I got the old Houston Rockets arena, the complex center, and it's been filled every Sunday, and
Mm-hmm.
people's lives has been changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't understand like why people are coming have come against me this long, like for years, and but
Yeah.
yet I haven't failed. And
Mm.
he had a realization. He had a spiritual transformation right there on stage while he was preaching, Like
Wow.
to realize that God had been with him the whole time, and and that like his message was still is necessary. People
Mm.
might not like that he's like like lean heavy on the prosperity, but it's necessary,
Yeah.
especially now because there's a lot of people that's going through financial strife. There's a lot of people um, who just can't figure it out in relationships. They can't figure it out with their business. That like a lot of different things. But you know, his message has been the fact that like God is an abundant God, and and that's definitely in the Bible, and and,
Mm.
and the brother broke down and cried. So
Wow.
my gem is like, there's gonna be opposition. There's gonna be opposition within yourself. You're gonna doubt yourself. You're gonna second guess yourself. These are all devices and tools of the enemy. And
Mm.
so you have to continue to stand firm. You got to continue to push forward, and just do what you meant on earth here to do. If it's just a mother, be a mother.
Mm.
If your job here is to be the one getting the garbage out of the arena, do it well, and find a
Yeah.
way to like lift others while you're doing it. So like
Yeah.
but there's abundance in all things, and where there's abundance in love, there's God.
Mm.
So we got to cling on to that um, this entire year while wearing armor, because people is going to continue to hate. They're going to continue to not want you to do what they want you to do their way, and it's gonna be
Mm.
so much of that, because people just ain't on board yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. That's powerful, brother.
yeah, man. This has been a very powerful episode. So we just want to say Happy New Year's to you guys, Brother Augustus. You have any announcements or anything you want to put out there? I know the Wisdom Library is always available. We can put that out there too.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, my just pretty much that Wisdom Library is anywhere that you can order audiobooks. Yeah, and stay wise.
Okay, and of course you can catch you can go check out my new book as well, The Holistic Guide on Mental Health, available on Amazon. It's on Kettle. We will have it distributed everywhere else too. The Holistic Guide on Mental Health.
Mm.
So you guys got some tools, man, for this year that you can use. Take advantage of them. Um, we definitely look forward to like broadcasting with you guys more often live, and doing this thing going into the new year. It's going to be a good one. So I want you guys, me and Brother Gus want you guys to claim it as well. That's going to be a great one. Uh, so with that being said, that's all I got. That's all me and Brother Gus got together. Don't forget to check us out on IG at God Pure Wisdom. Also, you can subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube already, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment, a like. And of course, if you are listening in any podcast app, we want you to subscribe and leave a review. Reviews are appreciated if you are able to do. And if you still don't know how to do that, just head over to God Pure Wisdom on IG and drop us a DM, or just hit us with a follow. And that let us know that you tracking this all along. So that's all. Until next time, many blessings, peace, and lots of love.